Maurice, Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Just what you could say about Coach Whipple and what he's doing with this, offense, in your opinion, to make it better, get more out of you guys this season. What has his approach been, and how do you feel the team's responded offensively as you head into the fall?
Well, Coach Whipple is a mastermind. Every time I'm with him, I just try to pick his brain. He's been through a lot of football. He knows a lot. With us, he goes through everything. Make sure that we know the details of a route, why are we running this route, making sure that we do it to full speed, full detail. So we just taking that and just going 100 miles speed with it. So we just trying to have a way better offense and come out stronger than we did last year.
Maurice, I'll ask a question from the podium. Pitt lost 4 senior starters from last year's offensive line. Who do you think are the leading prospects to help fill in and help rebuild that unit for this year?
Well, I feel last year our leader of that O-line was Jimmy Maurice. I know he got hurt towards the end of the season, but we got him back now. So I feel like he'll still be our leader, and he'll just keep affecting and pouring his leadership skills into the other and younger offensive linemen.
Questions for Maurice from the room? We'll bring the microphone back to the first row to your right.
How you doing, Maurice? Hal Nunn from the News Journal and the Sports Blast. I just have to ask you about the shoes. They look awesome. Is there a story behind it, or is it just something you like?
Yeah, it's just something I like. I was back home with my mother, and we actually went out shopping for the suits and shoes, and I seen them, and they caught my eye, so I was like, Mom, we got to get those.
Maurice, back from the podium. Actually, we will move the microphone down to the first row to your left.
Hey, Maurice, Rick Sabatella here, NFL Draft Bible, NFL PA Collegiate Bowl. Good to see you again. Your teammate here, Dane, obviously you match up against him in practice on a regular basis. Was just wondering if you can give us a little scouting report of what he brings to the table.
First, I want to say Dane is a good corner. Every time we go against each other is nothing but a battle. We compete at a high level. I would say Dane is very smart. His technique is very sound. You really have to work a move on him for him to move. Like I said before, he's really smart. So if you try to slow down at the top of a route, he know where you're breaking. He's going to be underneath you. If you breaking out, he's definitely undercutting, and he will pick a ball. If you're not a good quarterback and you don't have a good arm and you don't get it there, Dane will be on that ball.
We're going to go back to our right here in the first row.
Maurice, just what you could say about Pat Narduzzi and as a leader, just what he's been to this team, how his message kind of gets across to the entire room, so to speak, how you would describe him as a leader, and then secondly, what are some things maybe we wouldn't know about Coach off the field, maybe his attitude off the field?
Well, ever since I got here, I definitely noticed a change. We went from having average seasons to like not a whole team caring or spurts of people like trying, but I would definitely say he definitely changed the attitude within our locker room and the coaching staff as well. I feel like now we have a whole unit of smart people who want to get better, want to know the game and want to win games, and not just games, but go to the championships, good bowl games. And I would definitely say, second, him as a person off the field, he's great. I feel like I get along with him well. Ever since I was in high school, it felt like we clicked automatically. And till this day, we just keep getting better and better within our chemistry. And he's like that with everybody on the team. If you're a starter, if you're a third string, it's the same, and there's no difference.
Maurice, your last question from the podium. Last year, you accumulated 1,224 all-purpose yards. Is there a facet of the game you like playing better as opposed to another?
Honestly, no. I just love the game of football, and I feel like if I have the ball in my hands, I could definitely make something happen for the team. I just want to win. Just want to win.
That's a good way to finish it out. So, Maurice, you can switch places with Dane. We'll bring Dane up for a few minutes. Dane, same routine. We've got microphones throughout the room, and we'll bring our first one here to your left, right here in the first row.
Rick Saratella, NFL Draft Bible, NFL PA Collegiate Bowl. Just kind of the same question here. I asked Maurice about you. If you could just reciprocate and tell me a little bit about what Maurice brings to the table. I know, obviously, speed.
Like you said, obviously speed. He's fast, he's physical, and he's very smart. I think a lot of people underestimate his physicality just because he's fast, but you know, he's able to push off at the top of those routes and get that separation that he needs, you know, to get a good judgment on the ball. He's smart, you know, at the top of his routes. It's like he's sticking one way, but he might stick one way and still go that way. So it's kind of a gamble that you have to take and that you have to feel. So all around, he's just a great player. You know, he's deadly in the return game, a great leader. He's an all-around great guy.
Dane, to your right, first row.
Dane, for this season's Pitt defense, just some words you would use to describe this season's defense as you head into the 2019 campaign.
One word would definitely be physicality. You know, I feel like if everyone does their job, you know, we can be a good defense this year. And, you know, it's just this swagger, trying to bring that swag to the field and allow everybody to join in on the fun.
Dane, question from the podium. There's a lot of buzz out there that says this could be the best defense in Pat Narduzzi's 5 season at Pitt. But why do you think there is so much optimism floating around right now?
I'm not sure, honestly. We knew what we bring to the table, you know, in our room. We keep it all close. You know, we try to ignore the outside noise and focus on us mainly.
Also from the podium, Dane, when you think about Rashid Weaver, ranked among the best productive pass rushers in the ACC last year, what makes him so different than everybody else in the league?
I would say definitely his work ethic. You know, he comes in every day, day in and day out. He works his butt off. No days off. You know, he's trying his best to be a great leader, and he's just smart. You know, he's smart. He's trying to learn every aspect of the game, and he's picking coach's brain.
We've got a question that we will send to about the 5th or 6th row on your right. It'll take us a second to get the microphone there. And here we are.
Ewan McCreath, Herb FM Sports Radio. Dane, you led the team in pass breakups last year. How do you become a better cornerback in the offseason?
I think the main emphasis for me on the offseason was the leadership. I think the leadership will take me a long way. You know, leadership being as like coaching the young guys, that's also helping myself. You know, this with the fine details. You know, when you're explaining to a young guy, you have to get really detailed because, you know, everything's fresh to him, everything's new. So you have to get really detailed, and that translates over to you. So just being a better leader, more vocal leader, and putting all my tools from last year and taking them to another level.
Dane, your last question from the podium. Do you have to win the Coastal this year to call it a successful season?
We're just playing it by ear, honestly. You know, we had a pretty decent year last year, but this is a new year and new team, new goals, new mindset. So wherever the win takes us, we'll be ready.